welcome or welcome back to my channel, Lydia Lost the Plot. I'm Lydia and I am super excited to be bringing to you all a book haul. That's right, I've had a week off work and I've gone back to work and there was a heck of a lot of books that had arrived for me. When I say that my book requesting is actually quite tame, I mean it, but it's not true. It's not true. It's a lie, because it's not. I request loads of books. So I've got a nice little pile here that I will be telling you all about and sharing with you all. And if you have read any of them, if you are excited for any of them as I am, then please do comment down below. Let me know what I should be getting to first. And I hope that the week is treating you as well as it should be. Now, the first book that I have got hold of is a Fitzcarraldo, and it is the Empusium by Olga. I can never say her name. Is it Tokarczuk? That might be completely wrong, but like I mean, I could do some research, couldn't I? I could. Let's face it. It's just laziness. But if anybody does know how to, pronounce that name, please tell me. It also came with, look how cute this postcard is. Ooh. And it says the Empusium, a health resort horror story. And it's translated by Antonia Lloyd-Jones. And I know absolutely bloody nothing about it other than the fact that it said a horror story. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to have to read it. So I'll read you a little bit of the blurb, because you know what? I'm finding out for the first time too. In September 1913, a student suffers from tuberculosis and arrives at Willem Opitz's guest house for gentlemen, a health resort in what is now Western Poland. Every day, its residents gather in the dining room to imbibe the hallucinogenic local liquor, to obsess over money and status, and to discuss the great issues of the day. Will there be war, monarchy or democracy? Do devils exist? Are women inherently inferior? Meanwhile, disturbing things are beginning to happen in the guest house and its surroundings. As stories of shocking events in the nearby highlands reach the men, a sense of dread builds. Someone or something seems to be watching them and attempting to infiltrate their world. Ooh. A century after the publication of The Magic Mountain, Olga revisits Thomas Mann's territory and lays claim to it, blending horror story, comedy, folklore and feminist parable with brilliant storytelling. Doesn't that just sound ace? Now I remember why I ordered it. Ooh, horror story, comedy, folklore, feminist parable. Yes, please, Olga. Yes, please. So I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I think it just sounds absolutely bonkers and brilliant. And isn't that just what we love here over at Losing the Plot? I also have got a few classics in this haul. I am trying to build my classic collection. I don't have as many as I would like, and I don't read as many as I should. Not that I think that you should read classics, like there's some kind of like quota, but in my opinion, a lot of the authors that I enjoy and love are heavily influenced by classic authors. And I really like to know, like almost like Easter eggs, when someone like puts a little touch of somebody else in it, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm really influenced by Sylvia Plath or Virginia Woolf, and you think, oh, I've not read any of that. I have read Plath and Woolf now, but I think that having that extra little layer of knowledge unlocks like a different level of the book that you're reading. So I've been trying to get to a few more, and vintage classics have these beautiful and gorgeous red spine editions that I have suddenly started collecting. I know, I can't resist. Oh, and thank you as well to all of the publishers. All of these books were gifted to me. Just want to make that very clear. I've not bought any of them, but the opinions that I will give on them will be completely and utterly honest. to a fault. But this is The Savage Detectives by Roberto Bolano. And it's described as part road movie, part joyful nostalgic confession, a masterpiece. Now that's quite high. That's quite highly regarded. So let's read a little bit of the back. So on New Year's Eve 1975, 200 men leave Mexico City in a borrowed white Impala. Their quest to track down the vanished poet Cesario Tenorio. But 20 years later, they are still on the run. The Savage Detectives is their remarkable journey through our darkening universe, told, shared and mythologized by a generation of lovers, rebels and readers. Their testimonies are woven together into one of the most dazzling Latin American novels of all time. Now, this is translated by Natasha Wimmer, and I mean, I think they should put her on the cover. But yeah, I can't get enough of it. And look at that cover. Right? So I'm excited for this one. Let's just say I'm going to be excited for them all. You guys know by now. I will say I'm excited about 4 million times. I mean it. The next 2 books are Penguin classics. So thank you to Penguin for sending these to me. And they are both by Franz Kafka. There is The Trial. Look at that cool cover. And Metamorphosis and Other Stories. I've wanted to read Kafka for a very long time and I have not. So when I saw that these were available for us to request, I was like, immediately, because I do believe that I'll like Kafka. I think there's something slightly absurdist and non-linear about the way that he writes, from what I've read, you know, little snippets here and there, and I think it's going to be right up my street. I'm a big fan of absurdism. I was an absurdist theatre practitioner for a very long time, so anything that's a bit wild and a bit kind of different, I enjoy. So I think these are going to be great, and you know, things are classics for a reason. So, right. Now, the next book that I have been able to get my mitts on was the winner of the National Book Award for Fiction, and that is Blackouts by Justin Torres. I have heard so many good things about this book. Not only is it an award winner, but I think that it's a book that everyone on BookTube that I follow has raved about and has talked about and has said it's going to be a book to look out for. And when I saw it, I was like, I have to get this book. I have to read it. So I'll read you a little bit about the book itself, because I only know what other people have said, so it might be a little bit more succinct if I read it to you as opposed to try and fathom what I can remember. Juan Gay lies dying while a young man cares for him, someone whom Juan met in another lifetime and who has haunted the edges of his life ever since. As the end approaches, the two trade stories, resurrecting lost loves, mothers and fathers, and their lives are woven into a broader story of sexuality and oppression. Blending fact with fiction, Blackouts is a moving, dreamlike rumination on memory and erasure, on the ways in which stories sustain histories. Gosh, that sounds so good. This is from Granta, and I just think, you know what I mean? Bit of death, bit of misery, but also, you know, memory, lost love, lost opportunity. This is all my forte. And I really like the cover. I couldn't figure out what it was at first, but it's two men. The backs. I couldn't figure out what it was. But I think this is going to be one of those books that is going to be affecting and moving, and I really hope explores some of those deeper troubling issues of society and of life and of the human experience. So Blackouts by Justin Torres, I'm very excited for. You got it. Now there's only one left, so you know, bear with me, just one more. And this is a book that I have that I am very excited for, even though I've never read the author before, and yeah, I own their other novel. So this book is Long Island Compromise by Taffy, Brodesser, Aknar, and they are the author of Fleishman is in Trouble. Now, I have that book and have not read it, and I've heard so many good things about it that it's one of those books that I feel like I've read even though I haven't. Do you ever have them when you've got like this massive TBR and you've got books and you think, yeah, I'm so aware of that book and what happens in that book, I must have read it. I haven't. So I thought, if I got this is where my girl math, girl logic comes in, right? If I got this, that would give me the kick up the arse to read Fleishman is in Trouble, which then would lead me to read this. So why not get this? That was sort of how it worked. I'm not quite sure that's logical. I'm not sure anybody who isn't into books would understand that logic, and yet you all understand, don't you? So I don't know much about this either, which is, you know, just fine and dandy, but I will read you a little bit. A darkly exhilarating novel about an American family and its inheritance, the safety and wealth that they fought for, and the precarity of their survival that is their legacy. Long Island Compromise spans generations, winding through decades of history all the way through to the wild present, dealing along the way with all of the mainstays of American Jewish life and the timeless questions about wealth, trauma, and the American soul. All right. The American soul. There's also talk about a mother that dies. So, you know, that's just me, isn't it? Let's face it. David Nichols loves it. Grace Dent, Dolly Alderton. High praise. So I do think this is going to be good. I've also seen Ben Reads Good over on BookTube, him talk about this being a book to watch out for, and I trust his opinion implicitly. Like, if he told me to jump off a side of a mountain, I probably would, just because I would do anything he says. So Long Island Compromise by Taffy, Brodesser, Anchor is the final book that I have hauled recently. So not a bad haul, I don't think. And again, trying to be more intentional with the books that I bring into my TBR, because I don't know, I don't want to just get books that I'm never going to read just because they're shiny and fancy. So I have been trying to get some more classics that I think can sit on my shelf for as long as they need to, and I will get to eventually. A bit like Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin, which is my current read at the moment. It's been there a while, but I'm excited now that I'm getting to it, and it could have stayed longer, and it's not a big deal. It's not kind of like subject to what's the word, like, recency bias or hype or anything like that. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little bit book haul. I wasn't going to do it, and then I was like, I've got a bag of books, I've got to tell you all about it, obviously. So I hope that you have had a wonderful day, and I hope that you have got lots of stuff to read. If any of these books interest you or that you're excited for too, please comment down below and let me know which ones you think I should get to first. And thank you again for watching. I really do appreciate the time that you give me. So yeah, have a great day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.